Hey guys, I hope you got your PPE ready because today we're bringing you an episode so sick it's gonna need a corona test. Alright guys, so thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nev's Garage. If this is your first time joining us, make sure you hit that subscribe button, toggle on the bell, that way you'll be notified when the next video comes out. Don't change your channel now though, because we've got a great episode right here. Got our Victa 2-stroke mower here now. It's a very popular mower here in Australia, and she's a great little workhorse. You've seen some previous videos of ours of how to take care of them and service them. Well, what do we got today? Well, trouble, that's what. Our starter pull cord's all frayed. She's cactus, nearly ready to snap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to change that starter cord, get you back on the lawn, get those sweet chores done in no time. Let's get into it. Alright, now the very first thing we want to do before we even start is just remove the spark plug cap off the spark plug. Alright, that's going to prevent any accidental starting when we're turning the engine, because we will actually have to turn the engine to repair the starter. Alright guys, so this is a Victa Powertorque 2-stroke engine. Now they vary in appearance a little. They've been around for a very long time, and there's a lot of different versions of the top cowling. Some have a fuel tank included, some don't, some are flat, some are rounded, but underneath they're all the same mechanics. So they have a 3-bolt top, very simple to remove. Later models had a 8mm hex retainer. Early models had a Phillips, so we're just going to whip them out. Okay, off comes the case. Now because this doesn't have an included fuel tank, you don't have to worry about a fuel hose to disconnect, so she just comes straight off. Starter knob just pushes through it like that. If yours has a fuel tank, you just have to disconnect the fuel line from the carby. So here's our starter assembly. Now there's no need to remove this off the engine. This can be serviced entirely from the top here. Okay. Now in this particular case, our cord hasn't actually broken. It makes it super easy to change. Alright, so all we need in this case is just some starter cord. Now you can pretty much get this anywhere. It's just braided rope, a bigger version of Venetian blind cord. Now if it's on a Sunday afternoon and you can't get down to the shop and your starter breaks, you can just use a bit of flexible rope, whatever's about this size. It's all going to work as long as it's flexible enough to rewind into a spool. It's going to work fine. Alright, so we've got our new cord. So what we need to do is pull this existing cord all the way out. Right, there it is there. Okay, here's our new one. Now what we do is we just hold the spool while we get our new cord ready, okay? So let's just pop our foot on top of that. Going to tie a knot on the end of this. Like that, just a single's fine. You can chop the excess off if you want to. Boom. Alright. And what we do with this end is just make it nice and neat. So just get a lighter, melt the end a little. That'll fuse the end of it, okay? Alright, so that's our new cord ready. Now what we do is get our old one, chop it, pull it out, feed our new one straight through here. Straight up through the eyelet like that, pull it all the way through, Okay, there it is. Still going to stand on it to save it recoiling. Now we salvage our starter handle. All right, put our cord through, tie a knot in the end. I'm going to put 2 knots in this one. Well, not 2 knots, but a double knot like that. Pull him up. Okay, that's it. Now all we do is we just let the starter wind our new cord on, like so. As you can see, she's a bit long. All right, so we've got some to spare. So just tie them off like this. Yeah, and there it is. There's our new cord. Now we can try it. See? Alright, cool. So that's all fixed. Now we can just put the top back on that and she's ready to mow the grass. Now I can hear you yelling at your device screens now, asking me, what if this is already broken, how do I fix it? Because it's not very often you have the motivation to fix something that's not buggered. So I'm going to simulate that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to undo this end knot. Alright, so here we go. We try to start the mower, cord breaks. Uh-oh, how do we fix the cord? Well, really easy. Still don't have to take this assembly off. This assembly seals the top of the crankcase. You don't want to take it off unless you really have to. So what we do is, first of all, we just fish out our old cord, what's left of it. Okay? So we just unwind it out. Alright. So we've unwound it. Pull our old cord out. Okay. Now, as you can see, the spring just unwound. Now that isn't a problem as long as the spool is in still okay condition. If you have a close look at this guy here, this little U-shaped part is a moulding around the peg that's inside that holds the spring. Now as long as there isn't a hole there in the spool, as long as it's still solid, our spring and our peg's intact. Alright? So it's really simple, okay? We just get our new cord. Here it is here. Feed it through the spool like this, through the eyelet. Alright, like that. Tie our handle straight on with our double knot. Okay, that's our cord in. So now I'm going to show you how to rewind up the spring so it's got the preload on it so that it rewinds the cord back in. Okay, really easy. All we do is we just fish it out like this, pull it up into this notch in the spool, okay, and give ourselves enough to work with, and we just wind it clockwise, and this puts the preload on the spring. So we're going to rewind it about 6 turns, like that, and then we'll pull that cord out and see if it's enough. Okay, almost. We probably need another 2 or 3 turns. So you don't have to pull it all the way out to put more tension on it. All you've got to do is pull it round to the notch. Pop it out the notch again, another couple of turns. I'm going to go 3, like that. Bang. There it is. Yibbida yibbida. It's all wound up. So there we go. Now it's ready to fit our top cowling back on and we're ready to go to work. Alright, so it's ready to fit our top cowling. Now these bolt bosses that hold the top cowling down, they are just part of this cast aluminium starter assembly. There's not much meat around them. They're not very strong. So it's always a good idea to just put a bit of grease on these threads to prevent rust, because if any water gets on the top of the mower, it goes straight down around these bolts, runs down the threads, rusts them, and the first sign of resistance that these bolts get, these little housings snap. Alright, so there we go. Got our cowling ready. We just pop our starter handle up through the hole like that. Sit our cowling down on top and it'll self-center itself like that. Okay, that's where she wants to sit. And we're just going to run these bolts in. Now these don't have to be very tight, you just want to send them down firm, okay? Like that. Then we're just going to switch to a ratchet, or if yours has Phillips headed bolts in it, well, just a screwdriver. And just tighten them down firm, guys. They don't need any Loctite on them, or they don't need to be torqued up or anything. Just firm, okay? So that's all good. Plug our spark plug lead back on, and we're ready to go. So, simple, hey? Alright guys, well, she's all fixed. The good news is, of course, you can now go and mow your grass. The bad news is, well, you got no more excuses. Don't blame me for that though. Blame yourself for looking up this really helpful video. While we're on that topic, make sure you subscribe. Like and follow us here. That's how you show support. Jump on our Instagram @GossipMedia. Follow us there for behind the scenes shots and gossip. I'm done, but that's it for this episode. I'm Nev, and this is my garage, and I will see you next time.